Hi, and welcome to Season 2 of That's Ruddy Mysterious, a podcast of short tales about true mysteries. What created the Potomsky Crater? Who was involved in the 1963 Great Train Robbery? I'm not going to solve those mysteries, but they'll be interesting to learn about. I'm your host, Kelly with an I. Transcripts and references for all episodes can be found at that'sruddymysterious.wordpress.com. No apostrophe and no exclamation point. Today's tale is about Bum Farto. State Attorney Kirk Zwelch said of Bum Farto, "As far as the state of Florida is concerned, there is a warrant outstanding for his arrest for failing to show up for sentencing. If he is ever found, we will proceed with our case." What happened to Bum? Bum Farto was born Joseph A. Farto in Key West, Florida on July 3, 1919. He was the youngest of 3 children. His father was Juan Farto, a restaurant owner who emigrated from Spain to Key West in 1902. Bum grew up on Fitzpatrick Street, and then the family moved to Green Street, where they lived directly across from the Key West Fire Department. Bum got his nickname by hanging out at the fire station and bumming things off the firefighters. They called him the Little Bum. Bum was allowed to hang out at the fire station and was given odd jobs here and there. In 1942, Bum was working as a driver for a funeral hall, but his true love was the fire station. He began to volunteer in 1942. He polished brass and rode on the back of the fire truck. In 1955, Bum married Esther. They had no children. In 1964, Bum ascended to the position of fire chief. The Bubba system is a term of endearment within the groups that use it, but outside of those people, it's used to describe the crony system of which they are a part. 1961 brought with it the first Bubba system bust. Bolito was a numbers game played in Key West. It made some people rich, but also allowed organized crime to flourish. In 1961, 40 people involved with the game were arrested. In 1964, there was another Bubba bust. The fire chief at the time was arrested, and this allowed Bum to become chief. Bum was an eccentric man. He liked to dress extravagantly. He wore bright red suits, gold chains, and literal rose-colored glasses. His chief's badge was made of gold and encrusted with jewels. He drove a lime green Ford Galaxy with the license plate El Jefe, which means the chief. There's no way he could afford all of that on a civil servant's salary. Bum was also a believer of Santeria and often did rituals and made offerings on the hood of his car at the local high school's baseball games. He said it was for luck for the games, but the rituals made locals suspicious. They called him a witch. In 1966, Bum was brought up on charges for allegedly misappropriating funds. The city commission recommended removing Bum from duty, however, Bum's nephew sat on the civil service board that would have to remove him. After a 30-day suspension, Bum returned to duty. The Navy was a big part of the community's economy, and in the 1960s they closed down a base in Key West. This really hurt the town. It left people looking for alternate means of making ends meet. In the 1970s, Bum turned to selling drugs, which wasn't exactly frowned upon in Key West at the time. The community was lax about drug laws, so Bum began by selling marijuana from Colombia and then cocaine. He sold these on a bench out in front of the fire station. He even sold them right out of the station. Some knew him as the Jimmy Hoffa of Key West. Despite the community's lax view on drug sales, Governor Reuben Askew was not lax. When he heard about how lax the community was, he helped launch Operation Conch. Operation Conch was a joint sting operation with the Drug Enforcement Agency, Florida Department of Criminal Law Enforcement, and the Dade County Organized Crime Bureau. They caught Bum Farto on camera trading cocaine for gaudy jewelry with an undercover agent. He was arrested for drug distribution on September 9, 1975. Informant Titus Walters introduced Bum to the undercover agent. Walters would later be found dead, injected with drain cleaner and heroin, and then shot in the head. Manny James had also been caught up in the sting, and he served as Bum's attorney at the trial. Bum was found guilty by a jury after less than 30 minutes deliberation on 1 count of selling marijuana and 2 counts of selling cocaine. It was expected he'd be sentenced to between 15 and 31 years in prison. However, he never received his sentence. He ran away before it could be handed down. Or did something else happen to him? 3 days after he received his guilty verdict, Bum told his wife he had business out of town. He rented a Pontiac LeMans and disappeared on February 16, 1976. Weeks later, the rental car was found abandoned in Miami. There are a couple of theories regarding what may have happened to Bum. Some say he ran away. Others say that he was killed by someone that he was involved with in the drug business. Whatever happened to Bum, within months, "Where is Bum Farto?" and "The Answer is Bum's Away" t-shirts began being sold. A Key West reporter saw Manny James wearing a "Bum is alive and well in Spain" t-shirt. Some say that Bum's drug dealing was overstated. They say that he had trouble getting his hands on cocaine to sell to the undercover agent. There was a possible sighting of Bum in Costa Rica. It's believed he was seen renewing his passport at United States Embassy. 6 residents in Golfito, Costa Rica recognized his picture and believed he lived there until the FBI showed up in 1979. As recently as 1984, the FBI still expected to catch Bum. Today, he would be well over 100 years old. It took Bum's wife 2 years to report him missing. In 1984, Esther tried to have Bum declared dead. She was unsuccessful in doing so. Florida law requires a person to be missing for 5 years before declaring him dead. Esther tried again in 1986 to have Bum declared dead. This time she succeeded. Bum would have been 66 years old at the time. Bum left behind $2,000 in insurance policies and a pension worth $4,000 to $5,000, which Esther could begin to collect. Jimmy Buffett sometimes wore a "Where is Bum Farto" t-shirt during his concerts. He also made references to Bum in the song Landfall, where he sings, "Bum's down in Capos, he's having a ball. What would he do on another landfall?" In the 2020s, Bum Farto the musical began playing in Key West. This musical is a humorous take on Bum's life. Today, Bum's desk and uniforms are on display at the Key West Firehouse Museum at 1024 Grinnell Street. The museum is open from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. Admission is $10. What happened to Bum Farto? Did he run away? Or did he fall victim to the drug trade? What do you think? Thanks for listening to today's episode of That's Ready Mysterious. I'm your host, Kelly with an I. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a review and follow That's Ready Mysterious to be updated about new episodes. Tune in next Tuesday for another thought-provoking tale.